Dragon Ball Reborn. Another World Conquest. Chapter 11. Sun Tien, get in the car. Bu Ma said. Buma thought, Sun Tien has been living in the mountains, he should not be able to drive, so he took the initiative to act as a driver. Sun Tien looked at the small house in front of him, and felt a little bit reluctant when he thought of leaving. After living here for more than 10 years, he still has some feelings. Calm down, and Sun Tien got in the car naturally, but now Sun Tien is not like the Monkey King in the previous anime, he is still a child with little development. Although Boma is only 15 years old, she is also nearly 160 centimeters tall, and the girls develop early. Therefore, the car is a bit crowded, but Sun Tiandao is no different. After all, he is still small, although it looks like an adult. But Boma is a little unnatural. Although he likes handsome guys, he is mature in thought, but it also has the disadvantage of being mature in thought. Drove for about 20 kilometers, and Boma stopped the car. What's the matter, Boma? Sun Tien asked. Excuse me, please wait a moment. Don't follow me. Boma blushed when he thought of getting close to each other in the car. Sun Tien is speechless, he is still a child, and I don't know how Sun Tien thinks he is a child. There are almost 30 people in the past and present lives. After getting off the car, Boma quickly walked towards the distant woods. Help! Suddenly Boma's cry came from the forest. Sun Tieni thought, I got it. I forgot that there are many beasts in the mountains and forests, I am not afraid, I am used to it, Boma this girl. Sun Tien turned around and quickly rushed towards the place where Boma had just gone. He saw a monster with wings in a length of about 5 meters, a bit like a pterodactyl. One claw was holding Boma and was about to leave. Sun Tien, save me, quickly. Boma felt relieved when he saw Sun Tien's arrival. When the monster saw Sun Tien who suddenly appeared, he was shocked. Isn't this the bear kid nearby? You know, Sun Tien grew up in the mountains and cultivated, and monsters within a few hundred kilometers didn't know him. Is this your friend? I saw the monster asking vaguely. When Sun Tien came out, the monster was already trembling. You must know that this lord is the lord who has everything to eat. If he didn't understand the language and communicate, he would have been arrested for a tooth-making sacrifice a few years ago. Sun Tien was taken aback, what's the situation? Yes, let her go, Sun Tien replied indifferently. Although he usually doesn't eat the surrounding animals, the most wise and capable person is to practice his hands. Are you so scared? When the monster heard it, he quickly put down Boma and waited tremblingly beside him. He didn't dare to run. Boma was also taken aback when he saw it. The plot was not right. Shouldn't the monster threaten others or take the Sun Tien directly? How do you feel that this monster is a little scared? Boma returned to the back of Sun Tien with a dazed expression. Can I go, please? The monster didn't dare to speak loudly, and asked Sun Tien carefully. Go, let me see you attack humans later, don't blame me for eating you. Sun Tien showed white teeth. The monster was taken aback. This lord was not just talking about it, he quickly thanked him, and after stepping back 10 meters, he spread his wings and flew away. Back on the road, Boma still felt a little weird. Although she knew that Sun Tien must be strong, she didn't expect to scare the monster like that when she showed up. I really don't know who the monster is. By the way, Sun Tien, what happened to the monster just now? I seem to be afraid of you. Buma curiously asked. Oh, yes, maybe it left some shadow on him a few years ago. Sun Tien didn't pretend to, and simply replied. Shadow, what's the situation? Boma continued to ask, always feeling that Sun Tien is very mysterious. In the past few years I went to their habitat for spiritual practice. At that time, hundreds of pterosaurs were beaten up by me. If they weren't able to speak and have some wisdom, I'm afraid I would have eaten them all these years. Sun Tien replied. Hundreds, beating. Are you serious? Monster, really a monster? Boma thought. The two rested for a while, but after this episode, Boma became more and more interested in Sun Tien. Then the two continued on their way, nothing happened in the middle. In the evening, the two reached a clearing and stopped. Seeing that it was getting dark, they were not ready to continue on their way. Sun Tien, shall we rest here tonight? Bu Ma said. Okay, just here. Sun Tien replied. I saw Boma receive the vehicle, then took out a capsule from the box and threw it into the open space, only to see a house appearing out of thin air. It's so convenient to have this thing, although you can spend a night in a tree. Sun Tianxin said. Entering the house, it was bright. After a day of tiredness, Boma went directly to Shaw's, while Sun Tian was bored with the TV. This thing, Sun Tian has not touched since his rebirth, and was a little curious. About half an hour later, Boma walked out in a pajamas and prepared some quick food and coffee at random. The two ate at will, but the amount is really small. Except for early adopters, it is not enough to fill the stomach. Greeted Boma, and went out hunting alone. Because this place is located in the forest, Sun Tiandao did not go far to avoid danger on Boma's side. After not going too far, he suddenly found a roar from the sky, looked up and saw an old-fashioned car. The plane flies. Of course, Sun Tian would not be the same as the Monkey King in the former anime. He thought it was a big bird and rushed over and ignored him. Based on his rich life experience in Kongolan, Sun Tian quickly found a valley not far away. It was just that when Sun Tian came to the valley, he only heard howling wolves, and did not know what caused the attack of the wolves. I saw Sun Tian jumping slightly, standing on a tree dozens of meters high, looking into the valley not far away. Hundreds of wolves are chasing a dog-headed half-human and a woman. The two keep running. The dog-headed guy keeps using knives to block attacks from the pack of wolves, and the woman in the windbreaker has great skill, of course. They are already smashed, and although they have some strength, they are not at the level of an intermediate, they still can't stand the attack of the wolves. At this time, Sun Tian also remembered. This should be Ash and Xiaowu from the Pilaf trio. Sun Tian laughed and almost forgot about it. It should have also come from looking for Dragon Ball, but it was bad luck and strayed into Wolf Valley. In the previous life plot, it was also Monkey King who accidentally hit and saved these two people. Forget it, save them if you run into it. The two groups in Pilaf seem to be mechanical geniuses, and they should be used later. Sun Tian thought. Immediately, Sun Tian jumped directly into the pack of wolves, blocking Ash and Xiaowu behind him. Sun Tian's sudden appearance made Ash and Xiaowu startled. He saw that he was a human teenager and just wanted to persuade him. It's run. At this moment, I saw Sun Tian punching one, and he easily killed the surrounding wolves. The wolves discovered that the enemy that had crashed into it suddenly came from the instinct of the animal, and unconsciously fled back. Only a few dead wolves and the dull Ashiyu Xiaowu duo and Sun Tian standing in front of them were left. Looking at the dumbfounded two people, Sun Tian didn't say hello, and directly took a few wolves and prepared to leave. Thank you very much for saving us. Xiaowu and Ashiyu who reacted quickly thanked Sun Tian. You guys leave quickly, without my breath threat, the pack of wolves will be able to move again. Sun Tian replied, but he didn't expect them to react so quickly. To be honest, I remember that although this trio has always wanted to do bad things, it seems that there is nothing out of the ordinary except to release Piccolo. I don't know if they will release Pic because of their arrival. Forget it, let's do that. For the time being, Sun Tian didn't want to have any intersection with them, anyway, he would meet again soon. After said, Sun Tian quickly disappeared before their eyes. When I returned to the capsule hut, I saw that Boma was watching TV without interruption. She ate roasted wolf meat outside alone. Returned to the house again, but found embarrassingly that Boma was asleep. This girl is so bold, she is not afraid of what she would do to her, Sun Tianxin said. But Sun Tian doesn't have any thoughts in this regard. He was an otaku in his previous life, and he has been living in the mountains since he was reborn. So Sun Tian meditated beside the bed and started practicing. Early the next morning, Sun Tian went out early and came back with some prey. When Boma got up, it was already bright. After the two had breakfast, Boma put away the capsule house, ready to continue searching for the next Dragon Ball. At this moment, Boma suddenly felt something pulling his pants. Turning around, it turned out to be a turtle. Hello, can you help me? Turtle vomited. Sun Tian was surprised, and after thinking about it, this should be the big turtle next to Guixianren. As for talking, Sun Tian has become accustomed to it. Mr. Turtle, how can we help you? Sun Tian replied politely. I'm sorry, because I was looking for food, I lost my way with my companions, and seemed to be lost. Could you give me some salt water and add some seaweed if possible? The turtle did not expect that Sun Tian would be so polite. Is a disciple of Guixianren, although he has never met, he still has a good impression of this turtle. Sun Tian asked Buma to prepare salt water and food for the turtles. He learned that the turtles did not know how to return, so he discussed with Buma to send the turtles back to the sea first, and then continue to search for Dragon Balls. So the two of them changed their lanes temporarily because the turtles were too slow to take the car, so Buma drove by himself, and Sun Tian ran and followed the turtles directly. I encountered a hapless bear who likes to eat sea turtles, and he was also dealt with by Sun Tian twice. If it weren't for his knowledge, I'm afraid Sun Tian's dinner would have ended. About 34 hours later, the two of them came to the beach. Putting down the turtle, Sun Tian also rarely played in the water. At this time, the turtle was swimming in the sea for a while, and then he was ready to go back. Sun Tian and Buma waited for him to come back, saying that there was a gift for them. Sun Tian and Bu Ma were not in a hurry, so they chatted at the beach and played with the sea. I don't know what gift Mr. Turtle will give us. Dragon Palace treasure box. Pearls. Gold and silver. Diamonds. Boma imagined. About 2 hours later, I saw a coquettish old man standing on top of the turtle on the sea, swimming towards Sun Tian and the others, and he was on the shore in a short while. Sunglasses and flower shirt with turtle shell on his back, stepping on flip-flops, holding a strange wooden stick in hand, I saw the old man jump slightly and came to the two. Soon the turtle also crawled over. Hello, I am the turtle immortal, did you help my turtle? The old man said. Hello, old sir, by the way, it's nothing. Sun Tian replied. It's the little boy in front of you that saves you. If so, I will give you a gift as a thank you. The old man turned and said to the turtle. Turned around and yelled with a stick pointing towards the sky, come on. Phoenix. Boma surprisedly said. The phoenix. Sun Tiandao did not react, because he knew that the so-called phoenix had already become a dead bird. Sure enough, after a while, the sky didn't respond. At this time, the turtle said that the phoenix had died of food poisoning a few years ago, making Boma doubt life for a while. Tortoise Immortal was embarrassed, explained that the phoenix he called just hopes that the bird will not die, it's not really an phoenix. Now that this is the case, then use this thing instead. Then the turtle Immortal said. After speaking, Immortal Turtle pointed to the sky and said, come on, somersault cloud. There was no accident this time, I saw a group of golden clouds in the sky dragging a long tail to the front of the turtle ferry. This is somersault cloud, I gave it to you. At this time, the immortal turtle said. Sun Tian is also curious, wondering if he can sit on somersault cloud in this life without the simplicity of Monkey King. This cloud can take you flying in the sky, let me show it to you. After all, the turtle fairy jumped up and stood firmly on the cloud. Hey, I didn't actually fall off, is there something wrong? Sun Tianman asked, not saying that only people with pure minds can sit on it. It seems that the anime is deceptive. The plot is not right. After a while, the turtle fairy came back after sitting on the cloud and flying around. Sun Tian asked the question in his heart. Guixianren looked dazed. Who said that? This cloud has a special operation. Then the turtle fairy called Sun Tian aside and told him how to operate it. Sun Tian is speechless. Let me just say, Monkey King in the late Dragon Ball can't be pure-hearted, how could he still sit on somersault cloud, that's how it is. Then Sun Tian manipulated his mouth and drove it. At first he was not used to it. Although Sun Tian may be able to jump tens of meters in height, it is the first time to fly in the sky at will. Gui Shanliu did not have a flying technique. Although Sun Tianping practiced according to the memory of his previous life, he still did not find a way to directly control his body to fly with qi. After flying for a while, Sun Tian directly pressed the cloud head and returned to the ground. Tortoise Immortal can also tell. Although this kid is small, he seems to be a cultivator. How can ordinary people control the magic of the somersault cloud so quickly? How can they have no fear of the sky at all? But he didn't fight with Sun Tian, so naturally he didn't know Sun Tian's way. Sun Tian thanked the old man. This gift is quite good, but it is not good for spiritual practice. It is not good to rely too much on it. Sun Tian was transparent in his heart. Sun Tian, this name is so familiar. Hearing Sun Tian's self-reported name, Gui Shanren didn't think much about it, but felt that the name was familiar. The young man has a good mentality, keep it up. Gui Shanren replied, thinking that it is rare to have this state of mind. However, Gui Shanren became accustomed to being idle, and had no desire to compete for strength, and no desire to accept disciples. If I let Immortal Turtle know that this young man in front of him is Sun Gohan and the Sun Tian he mentioned, I don't know what to think. Of course, Immortal Turtle didn't think about it. After all, Sun Wufan and the Sun Tian he mentioned was about 13 years old. It is impossible to have such a tall one. I blame Sun Tian for not looking like a 13-year-old kid anymore. Saying goodbye to the Immortal Turtle, Sun Tian and Bu Ma once again embarked on a journey to find the Dragon Ball. Sun Tian, what do you think this is? After an unknown period of time, Buma took out a bead and asked Sun Tian. Dragon Ball, isn't our purpose to find Dragon Ball? Sun Tian was speechless. Look carefully. 123 planet, new Dragon Ball, when did you cheat from the Turtle Fairy? Sun Tian Jing said. As for the Turtle Fairy, there are Dragon Balls, Sun Tian knows, but he accepted other people's somersaults and went to ask for the Dragon Balls. It was a bit unreasonable. I thought I had to wait for the 6 to find the dragon ***** and then borrow them from the Turtle Fairy. I thought that Boma was coming directly. You know. This time it's Boma's turn to be surprised. Of course I know. As soon as Immortal Turtle came ashore, I found it hung around his neck, but someone else gave me a gift, so I didn't mention it. I didn't expect it to be given to you later. He didn't have any special requirements for you. Right. Sun Tiandao. Special request? No, after you go to try Somersault Cloud, I will talk to Immortal Turtle about our purpose in Dragon Ball. After showing him, he will give it to me directly, Buma said strangely. Nima, this plot has no roots at all. Did I come to a fake Dragon Ball world? Isn't the turtle immortal an old man? Can anyone tell me what is going on? Sun Tian felt that 1,000 grass mud horses rushed past his heart, ruthlessly crushing his unchanging heart with the Taishan collapse in front of him. Think about it, too, how can an old man become a martial arts myth on Earth? The plot of the previous life is really just to cater to the audience. According to the radar's prompts, the two of them drove for about 2 or 3 days and came to a small town. According to the radar, the next Dragon Ball should be in the small town. After putting the car into the capsule, the two slowly walked into the town, only to make strange things. The door was closed everywhere in the town. Sun Tian and Bu Ma finally found someone's house. After inquiring, they found out. There is a monster called Oolong nearby, who always comes to the town to grab girls. According to the memory of the past life, it should be the pig that can only transform. Sun Tian showed his strength a little bit, and then promised to help the people in the town solve this problem. Is basically a piece of cake for the current Sun Tian, and he easily caught the pig back, so that the arrogant and extravagant women returned to the town speechlessly. Finally got the 5th Dragon Ball 6 planet is willing to pay. After bidding farewell to the villagers, several people continued on the journey of searching for Dragon Ball. However, in order to fear that the Oolong pig will stay in the town and continue to spoil him, the number of companions has also changed from 2 people to 2 people and 1 pig. Several people chatted all the way, slowly driving to the next destination. Quickly drove into a desert, and saw strange rocks in groups around him, and occasionally some plants appeared. Oolong was forced to become a full-time driver, and Sun Tian and Buma didn't know what to talk about behind. After seeing Sun Tian's skills, Oolong never even thought of running away, but few people knew that they had been spotted by a thief not far away. Master Leping, business is here. I saw a cute little animal talking. What? No one has been here for a long time. Replied an 18-year-old boy. I saw the boy leaping on a rock and looking ahead with a telescope. 1 person, 1 pig, and 1 woman, depending on the style of the car, it should be a rich person who can't get good things. After all, he took out a bazooka and aimed at the driving car of Sun Tian and his party. Boom! Only heard a loud noise, and Sun Tian and their car were blown over. Fortunately, none of the 3 were injured. It should be a pig. How could Sun Tian be injured? But Sun Tian is also getting angry. You said you were talking about it, and suddenly the car was bombed. It's personally unbearable. I only saw Sun Tianxiao strut out the car. Who? Come out for me. Sun Tian yelled, and saw the surrounding rocks vibrate. It can be seen that Sun Tian was a little angry. He didn't care about it. You should know that Boma and the others are just ordinary people, and they are fine now. After a while, Boma and Oolong also climbed out of the car. Although they were fine, the car was damaged and completely unusable. What's the matter? What happened? The two said. Someone attacked us with a rocket launcher. Fortunately, the other party didn't want our life. Sun Tian replied, looking at the person and pet in front of him. Leping is also a master. Although he hasn't comprehended his energy yet, when he was yelled at by Sun Tian, he actually gave birth to a sense of insignificance. However, although he is young, he has been accustomed to this field, and it does not seem to have lost the battle. I'm Leping the thief, who are you kid? Leping replied, bringing his pet Pu Yalu to a place not far from Sun Tian. And Oolong heard that he was a robber Leping, he immediately wanted to escape. Although he knew that Sun Tian was also very strong, Sun Tian's reputation outside was not obvious, and Leping was a famous robber in this area. As for Boma, Yu read www. Yuakanshu. Although Leping is also handsome, but because this guy is the original culprit of attacking them, he has not committed a nympho. After all, compared to Cheng Sun Tian, Leping's appearance is still a little worse, plus Sun Xing's successful cultivation temperament. By comparison, naturally he has no good impressions of Leping. I don't know if it's the butterfly effect. Leping here doesn't suffer from dizziness when facing women. Seeing this guy exploded his car and was still so arrogant, Sun Tian decided to teach him a lesson. You must know that in the memory of previous lives, this guy couldn't even beat the Monkey King who hadn't practiced much, and he dared to pretend to be in front of him. A robber is still so arrogant, I think you are looking for death. Sun Tian replied faintly, and after a rush, he came directly to Leping and raised his hand with a punch. So fast. As soon as Leping reacted, his fist hit his face straight, and he was rushed 7 or 8 meters away. Master Leping, what's the matter with you? Pu Yalu, who was next to him, saw that his usually majestic master was punched and hurriedly said. It's okay, the kid unexpectedly attacked. The first sentence was to answer Pu Yalu, and the second sentence was to question Sun Tian. Although this punch seems mighty, but Sun Tian's strength is useless, and against Leping, who is already a senior warrior, it is just a skin injury. Sneak attack. Although Leping said so, he was serious in his heart. After all, he was prepared from the beginning. The previous roar of Sun Tian had already let Leping know that he had a hard idea. Once Sun Tian decided to take action, he didn't have much words, and when Leping replied, he quickly approached. I saw Sun Tian swept across, and Leping, who had not had time to stand up, flew 10 meters across again. Boom! Directly broke a stone pillar not far away. Pu Yalu fainted directly, and Oolong, who was about to escape, stopped. Although Buma knew that Sun Tian was great, it was the first time he really saw him take action. It took about 20 seconds before Leping crawled out of the pile of rocks. Since his debut, this is the first time he has received such a heavy blow. Not only physically, but more spiritually. The opposite Sun Tian seemed to be 145 years old. He didn't expect to fight back without even having a chance to fight back, so he was caught by 2 tricks. Sun Tian attacked twice in a row, and his anger was almost out. I'm not ready to make another move. Your name is Leping, right? How do you deal with this matter? Sun Tiandao, no way, the car was destroyed, although he can ride a somersault cloud, but Boma and Oolong can't, the somersault cloud is bigger. Cough cough cough. Leping obviously suffered a serious internal injury in the battle just now, and there is still a little bloodshot at the corner of his mouth. But the weak and the strong, the other party has obviously been merciful, and it is true that he has the fault first. Little brother, I'm wrong this time. Leping was also helpless, who can let his fists beat him? Fortunately, Sun Tian knew that Leping was only for money, otherwise the rocket would not just blow up the car, but would destroy it. In that case, Sun Tian might only be able to protect Boma who was beside him at the time, and Oolong may have to say goodbye in advance. There should be too many cars in your place. If we damage our car, pay us one. Besides, don't be a robber here. With your skill, I can't stop even 10% of my power. Sun Tian said, the most urgent thing is to find Dragon Ball. As for killing Leping, Sun Tian didn't have this idea at first. Leping heard it, but there was no response. I just grabbed a new car a few days ago. I haven't used it yet, so I just threw it to Sun Tian. Can you ask how old you are this year? Leping thought for a while, but didn't hold it back. 13 years old. By the way, my name is Sun Tian. If you don't agree, you can come to me at any time. Sun Tian is not full. There is nothing to hide. Pu Yalu, let's go. Leping gave the capsule to Sun Tiano and left without knowing whether he was going to continue to be a robber or was stimulated by Sun Tian. He was ready to practice. After the Leping incident, Sun Tian and his party were on the road again. For some reason, the closer the next Dragon Ball got, the hotter it got. Fortunately, there is no shortage of food resources in the new car, otherwise except Sun Tian, Buma and Oolong can't stand it. As for Sun Tian, with his practice, not to mention the heat and cold, at least this area of heat has no effect on him. After a few more days, a few people finally came near the next Dragon Ball, and Boma took out the Dragon Ball radar and took a look. Sun Tian, from the radar display, the next Dragon Ball should be on the opposite mountain. Bu Ma said. Really? Let's go over. Oolong, drive fast, adults talk, pets are not allowed to listen. Poor Oolong, follow all the way. Until now I don't know what Boma and the others will do this way. Soon a group of people came to the foot of the mountain, and the foot of the mountain was full of villagers. After inquiring, I realized that this is the Flame Mountain. Flaming Mountain, senior brother Niu Devil. Sun Tian was startled. No wonder his heart was getting hotter and hotter. He had reached the Flaming Mountain of Niu Devil unconsciously. And Oolong sounded like Flame Mountain, and I remembered the legend that has been circulating for a long time, and I was so scared that I wanted to run away again. According to legend, there lived a demon monarch in Flame Mountain. The treasure that the monarch looted was placed in the castle of Flame Mountain. Anyone who approached would be killed by the demon, and the monarch was the Bull Demon King. Let's go, or we will be killed. Although Oolong wanted to escape, he told the other two about this legend. But the rumors must be rumors. Looking at the villagers around, Sun Tian knew that the rumors must be wrong. If the Bull Demon King was really cruel, the villagers at the foot of the mountain would not be so relaxed. And the next Dragon Ball showed from the radar, it was halfway up the mountain. If you want to get the Dragon Ball, you have to go up. After inquiring about the way up the mountain, the group drove up the mountain. Soon, a magnificent castle appeared in front of several people. Some guards also appeared along the way. Stop! Private territory, no entry. At this time, I saw a guard patrolling Sun Tian in their car. The Oolong driving the car stopped immediately when he saw someone blocking him. Thank you to tell me that Sun Tian is visiting. Sun Tian opened the car window and said to the guard. After saying that, give the 4 planets on your body to the guards and give them to the castle owner, that's it. The guards didn't seem to have rushed in. After receiving the Dragon Ball, they asked them to wait here for a while, and hurried back to the castle to report. Sun Tian, how did you give the Dragon Ball to someone else? Buma curiously asked, knowing that their purpose is to collect the Dragon Ball, so that I can see if the legend of the Dragon Ball is true. Sun Tian is good, and he directly gave his Dragon Ball to someone else. Ah, this Dragon Ball was originally given to me by the castle owner. Sun Tian replied. Didn't you always live in the mountains? What's the matter? I have always lived in the mountains, but the brother who adopted me is not. This Dragon Ball was brought back by my brother a few years ago, and the original owner is the owner of this castle. Okay, that's the case. Oolong heard how Sun Tian is so good, knowing that the demon lord here is so calm, it turns out there is this relationship. But I am curious about what they said about Dragon Ball. About 78 minutes later, I saw a big man nearly 3 meters high and a 112-year-old little loli came quickly, surrounded by a dozen people. Where is Brother Gohan's grandson? Let me see. Long far away, Sun Tian and his entourage heard a full of breath coming from the big man. Sun Tian is speechless, the feeling that the old man Sun Wufan introduced himself outside. See what the bull demon said, Gohan's grandson. Actually, this is no wonder son Gohan. Although Sun Tien has always been called before and after the old man, he has grown up with Gohan since he was a child, and he has always regarded Sun Tien as a grandson in his heart. Until the last time I went back, my grandson's status was officially promoted to the status of junior brother, but these bull demon kings didn't know it. Soon a group of people came to Sun Tien and the others. The bull demon naturally skipped Oolong and Buma and looked at Sun Tien. Why are you? This pig is obviously impossible to be Gohan's grandson. Although the girl is beautiful, it is even more unlikely that it is. Your kid is Sun Tien, right? Brother Gohan said that you are good, and that's right. The bull demon king looked at his son-in-law's eyes, and the more he looked at it, the more satisfied he became. It is necessary to make Boma feel handsome. People, can you be dissatisfied? Hello, Brother Niu, I'm sorry to meet you for the first time. Sun Tien was a bit numb when he was seen, but he still had to face it. This time he went down the mountain and came to see the Bull Demon King as one of his goals. Brother Niu. When the Bull Demon King heard, how did this kid call him Senior Brother Niu? Did Senior Brother Gofan let this boy worship Master Wushan? It's not impossible. Last time Senior Brother Gohan said that this kid is very talented. She had almost reached the threshold of the Grand Master. Furthermore, I heard Gohan mention that Uncle Crane seemed to have accepted a few good closed disciples. By the way, it should be like this, otherwise the next time the world's #1 martial arts club, I can't let myself let's compare with Brother Gohan and Master Crane's closed disciple. Boy, have you come to Teacher Wu Tien? Thinking of this, the bull demon asked. No, it was Brother Gohan who accepted his apprentices on behalf of his teacher. I saw Teacher Wu Tien a few days ago. Sun Tien replied. Oh, Teacher Wu Tien is okay, I haven't been to his old man's house for a long time. Fortunately, by coincidence, I happened to save a turtle of Teacher Wu Tien, and sent Mr. Turtle back to the beach by the way, and met him, but his old man didn't know that I was Sun Tien. I gave it to me as a gift. Sun Tien also found it funny when he said that, I don't know what will happen to Teacher Wu Tien next time. Oh, somersault cloud, that's a good thing. At the beginning, Brother Gohan and I wanted to borrow to play, but the teacher refused. It seems that the teacher has a good impression of you. Don't stand stupid, come with me and show you around, take a look at my castle. By the way, this is my daughter, Kiki, the kid hasn't introduced your friends yet. Hello, I am Oolong. Hello, this is Boma, I am glad to meet you. Hello everyone, I'm Chi-Chi, Sun Tien's fiancé. This is when Xiao Lori blushed and looked at Sun Tien. What, fiancé? Oolong and Boma directly stared. But the bull devil quietly compared the thumb to Kiki. Good job, you asked me what you just called, Brother Niu, The group of people quickly entered the castle, and the bull demon king ordered his servants to make a banquet. After the banquet, the bull devil took a few people to visit the castle. Come, Sun Tien, accompany me with a few tricks, let me see how much you and Senior Brother Gohan have learned. Chi-Chi took Boma and Oolong to visit elsewhere, while the bull demon took Sun Tien. The other side of the mountain. The brother must let me. Please advise. After saying that, Sun Tien suddenly turned into an afterimage, and went straight to the face of the Bull Demon King. And the Bull Demon King retreated slightly, and just got away from Sun Tien's straight fist. At the same time, he squatted straight to Sun Tien and attacked his belly. But Sun Tien turned his fist into a palm, quickly returned to defense, squatted down, and caught the bull's fists head on. The two sides directly changed from a move to a wrestling. Suddenly, Sun Tien turned sideways, and saw that the bull demon was unstable, and went straight into the open space. But Sun Tien turned around and kicked the bull demon directly 10 meters away. Awesome, it seems that I have to work harder, good kid. The bull demon king stood up and quickly bullied himself up. You come and I go between the two sides, only to see the afterimages continue, and the sound of crashing in the mountains constantly. However, both sides only used the power of the physical body, and did not use the venting bullet to attack. Apart from the last fight against Gohan, the Bull Demon King hasn't felt this kind of blood for a long time in the past few years. The same is true for Sun Tien. In the memory of his previous life, the Bull Demon didn't seem to be so strong. Judging from the fight just now, I'm afraid the bull demon is no worse than Tianjin during the Second World Budokai. But it's no wonder that the previous life was based on Monkey King, and there are not many descriptions of the Bull Demon King, but he can be accepted as a disciple by Immortal Turtle, and he doesn't have any ability. The battle continued, Sun Tian's temptation from the beginning, 30%, 50%, 80%, but the Bull Demon King can easily take it. It made Sun Tian feel that the animations in the previous life were all deceiving, and it seems that it is also the story of the castle being burned in the past for the plot needs, and the turtle fairy showing muscles. In reality, it seems that there is no such thing. Boy Sun Tian, yes, I can still have fish with ease until now. Use your best, why are you afraid of hurting me? Cow Demon King said, after so many years, few people can fight with him. This level. Okay, brother, be careful. After that, Sun Tian was finally ready to use his full strength, and saw Sun Tianmeng stepping back, and distanced himself from the Bull Demon King, slowly making a gesture of turtle-style qigong with both hands. The qi of the whole body continuously gathers into the hands, forming a compressed energy body. Oh, tortoise-style qigong, yes, it seems that I have to be more careful. I saw the same thing as the Bull Demon King, with his hands slightly closed, making a gesture of tortoise-style qigong. Turtle qigong, ha. Turtle qigong, ha. The two uttered almost at the same time, only a harsh sound was heard in the air. Two qigong waves collided in the air and held each other. Both of them kept outputting qi, so as to bully the other side. Sun Tian has exhausted his best. But the Bull Demon King was much better. Seeing that he couldn't help but stubbornly, the Bull Demon roared and saw the harmonious qigong slowly pushed to the sky. Rumble, a loud noise came from the sky. Sun Tian fell directly to the ground tired, and the Bull Devil barely stood. The two looked at each other and smiled. Not bad, so young you have the power of the pinnacle of Grand Master. Old senior brother joked, I lost this time. Sun Tian smiled bitterly. He knew his family affairs from his family. If he hadn't had the blood of Saiyans, he would be able to reach the top of the Master's late-stage combat power at best. But this Bull Demon King is really not so strong. Although he is not as good as Brother Gohan, he is still a good master on Earth. The two rested for a while, and looked at the broken trees in the chaos around them. It seemed that it might take a while to recover. When I returned to the castle again, it was already very late. Took a rest for one night, and early the next morning, Sun Tian and his party prepared to bid farewell to the Bull Demon King and continue their Dragon Ball adventure. Of course also took away the 7 planets in the hands of the Bull Demon. Along the way, there is another little Lolita. No way. According to the Cow Devil, Chi-Chi is no longer on it. It's time to go out and meet the world. Actually, this is a little bit of careful thinking of the Cow Devil, let Chi-Chi and Sun Tianxian cultivate feelings. Sun Tian is not good at rejecting it. Kiki, this little loli, is not like the previous story. She is a little weird, and occasionally teases Oolong, and she can talk to Boma. However, he always regards himself as Sun Tian's fiancé, which makes Sun Tian a little bit dumbfounded. After chatting, they also knew the purpose of the trip, but the Oolong guy actually dreamed of using the girl's underwear to make a wish with the dragon, and was almost thrown out of the car by Kiki and Boma. But because of the existence of Sun Tian, after being warned by Sun Tian not to make a wish indiscriminately, he also settled down. So far, their party has collected 6 Dragon Balls. As long as they find the last planet, they can verify whether the legend is true. Looking at the radar in his hand, it is nearly 1,000 kilometers away from the location of the last Dragon Ball, and I don't know what will happen along the way. In a desert, I saw weird boulders everywhere, and in the depths of the desert, there stood a weird fortress. Inside the fortress are all old electronic devices. In one hall, only a child, who is less than 1 meter in length is eating. He looks a little weird, but has a mature noodle. The dress is also peculiar. The 2 words, fried rice, are written on the front of the clothes. Quote exclamation mark. And in front of him, a kobold and a woman are reporting something. If Sun Tian is here, he will know that these are the Ashiyu and Xiaowu who have a relationship with him. Lord Pilaf, according to our radar, the other 6 dragon ***** have been collected, and they are coming towards us. Oh, then, besides us, there are others who are collecting Dragon Balls, but how do they know that the last Dragon Ball is in our hands? Did they also have geniuses in this area that can create a radar that detects Dragon Ball's unique fluctuations? Pilaf replied. Yes, the last Planet 1 is in the hands of Pilaf. At that time, the trio was in a grotto and accidentally discovered Planet 1, and there was also a very old manuscript. After deciphering, they found out that there is such a magical baby in the world. According to the manuscript, someone collected 7 dragon ****** a long time ago and became a king by making a wish. However, after making the wish, the dragon ***** scattered all around, leaving only one planet turned into stone, but this person obviously didn't want to let it. Others knew about this, and they kept everyone they knew at the time secretly, but because the grotto master knew about it, before the king had discovered it, he took the Dragon Ball that turned into stone and escaped. However, after being chased by the king several times, he finally fell into a grotto and barely escaped his life, but he soon died due to his serious injuries. Before he died, he recorded the legend of Dragon Ball. After getting one planet, the Pilaf trio has been searching for the whereabouts of other Dragon Balls, but due to insufficient strength, they have never got a second one. However, these 3 people are also very good. With some broken copper and iron, they just built a radar that can chase and catch the movement of the Dragon Ball. They are convinced that the legend is true. However, due to limited conditions and limited technology, they can only roughly know a range of Dragon Ball. Unlike Boma, can make a small and accurate Dragon Ball radar that can be carried around. Although they captured the location of the Dragon Ball several times, they were all preempted by Sun Tien and his party. When they returned to the castle, they found that the Dragon Ball fluctuation had disappeared. Axiu Xiaowu, you guys set out now, be sure to take the Dragon Ball for me. Pilaf ordered. Yes, King. The 2 immediately turned around to execute the order. If it weren't for the good equipment, how could this genius's idea have not been completed yet? Pilaf exclaimed. Pilafji thought, what wishes, money, power, food should be made after the magical dragon is called? It seems neither. After a few days of driving, a group of 4 finally arrived at the desert where the Pilaf fortress is located. Tick, tick. Boma kept using the Dragon Ball radar to zoom in and find the location of the last Dragon Ball. It should be in this desert, 25 kilometers away from us. Bu Ma Dao. Long live, Chi-Chi and Oolong cheered. After these days, they were also a little tired. When they heard that they were about to find the last Dragon Ball, they all cried in excitement. Seeing the night fall, a few people took the car capsule, and then took out the house capsule, ready to rest for the night, and rush over tomorrow. The night is charming in the desert, but it is also full of crisis. After Sun Tien had dinner, they rested early. However, what they didn't know was that a few kilometers away, Ash and Xiaowu were watching their every move with a long distance. When they saw Sun Tien, the 2 of them were really startled. The memory of not long ago emerged. At the critical moment of their lives, why the little boy who appeared suddenly was here. You know, the little boy directly attacked the wolf with his momentum. The group of characters fleeing in fright, and judging from his shots at the time, his strength was obviously terrifying. But thinking of King Pilaf's order, the 2 of them slowly approached Boma's cabin, rubbing against the moonlight. However, just as they were about to open the door of the cottage, they found that someone had slapped something on the back of the shoulder. When I turned around, I was shocked and sweaty. 2. Meet again. Sun Tien said with a smile. Hello, respected strong man. Resist the fear, Xiaowu replied. Sun Tien turned around and walked outside, followed by Ash and Xiaowu. Let's talk about it, what are you doing here? Sun Tianchi smiled. This, that. The 2 squeak, don't know how to answer. At this time, Sun Tien took out 4 planets and threw them in his hands. Come and steal this. I'm sorry, my lord, we didn't know that Dragon Ball was in your hand, otherwise I would not dare to lend me 100 courage, please let us go. When they were found out, these 2 people were bachelor. Mainly, the recent experience really shocked them. Well, the last Dragon Ball is in your hands. Go back and rely on Pirith. We will get it tomorrow. We will tell him that he does not need dragon ***** for his wish. Then I will help him complete it. Don't be free. After that, Sun Tian turned around and went to rest, leaving behind the dull duo, at a loss. The two were not in a hurry to come back. They knew that they couldn't explain clearly to Pilaf if they went back like this. Had to wait outside the house all night. On the second day, when I got up early in the morning, Boma found that there were two more people outside the house, and was shocked. Who are you and why are you staying outside our house? Boomer said. We are the subordinate of King Pilaf. I am Xiao Wu, my partner Ash. Excuse me. Xiao Wu just wanted to ask Sun Tian if he had awakened, but suddenly realized that he still doesn't know Sun Tian's name. Why haven't you returned yet? Didn't you let you go back and wait first? This is Sun Tian coming out. My lord, we don't know how to talk to King Pilaf when we go back. After thinking about it, we should wait for you and go back with you. Xiao Wu embarrassed. Let's go. After Sun Tian said, the group drove to Pilaf's fortress. The group soon arrived at Pilaf's fortress, and Ash and Xiao Wu hurried in to report. Lord Pilaf, we brought back the guy who owns Dragon Ball, just outside the castle. The two reported back. Brought it back, I didn't disappoint this time, where, hurry up. Pilaf thought he brought the Dragon Ball back directly, although the Dragon Ball did come together. Yes, but we are not their opponents, and they say there is a way to realize the king's wish, and hope that the king can exchange the dragon ***** on his hand for them. Feeling that the king did not understand what they meant, Xiao Wu explained. What? I didn't get the Dragon Ball back, and I still want the Dragon Ball in my hand. Pilaf felt a bit angry when he heard it, but considering that the two generals were not opponents, even adding him was useless. By the way, you said they are outside and they can help fulfill my wish. Pilaf suddenly thought. Yes, my lord, that's what the lord said. Well, let's go out and have a look. The three quickly got out of the defense, and they saw Sun Tian in the four. Pilaf is dizzy, and the strong ones in the feelings of these two people are these children. Axiu, Xiao Wu, the strong ones you are talking about are these little ghosts in front of you. Pilaf angered. The king calms down his anger, the big king calms down his anger, they are really strong, they are him. The two hurriedly persuaded him, they both knew that Sun Tian was great. Sun Tian may also know that at his own age, it is difficult to convince Pilaf, and also thinks that these three people may be needed in the future, and feel that it is necessary to shock the three, so that they can work for themselves in the future. I saw Sun Tian holding one hand slightly, and an energy bomb appeared directly in his hand, and in the eyes of a few people, he threw it at a stone mountain next to him. Boom rumble. There was a loud noise, and huge smoke and dust rose directly from the stone mountain, and the fortress behind it was also constantly shaking. A few minutes later, I saw that the stone mountain that was attacked had completely disappeared, leaving a deep hole tens of meters wide and hundreds of meters long in place. My lord, this is the Dragon Ball you want, please accept it. Pilaf's face was reddened, it was terrible, is this still a human? And Buma and the others were also dumbfounded. Although they had always known that Sun Tian was very strong before, this magical power was beyond their understanding. Sun Tian, what did you do just now? Boma asked. No loss as my future husband, really amazing. Chi-Chi looked at Sun Tian's strength as if it were her own strength. She worshipped, and she was surprised to see if she was the daughter of the Bull Demon King. This scene is not unseen. I just didn't expect that Sun Tian is already so strong so young. It seems that after this experience, I have to let my father train himself well. Although the three of Ashiyu and Xiao Wu Oolong knew that Sun Tian was very strong, they did not expect to refresh their knowledge time and time again. Took the Dragon Ball from Pilaf, handed it over to Boma, and then asked, by the way, Pilaf, what is your purpose of looking for the Dragon Ball? Tell me what you wish. No, this Dragon Ball is a small gift for an adult, so I don't dare to ask for it. Pilaf was a bachelor. After seeing Sun Tian's greatness, how could he dare to have any opinions? Well, this is the daughter of the Wanning Capsule Group. I want to recommend you to go to them for research work. Are you not willing? Sun Tiandao. What? Let's go to the Magnum Capsule to do research work, is it really okay? Pilaf was surprised, knowing that even if Pilaf gathers the Dragon Balls, they don't know what they want, but there is one thing. A genius in mechanics, if he can go to the universal capsule to do things, he will definitely be able to display many of his genius ideas. A word from Sun Tian completely made Pilaf put down his unwillingness. By the way, Boma, it's okay. These three can be highly accomplished in mechanical research or happy, you should be able to talk. Sun Tian turned to Boma. Ah, mechanical genius. Boma was still surprised by Sun Tian's strength, and suddenly heard that there was a genius in his own field, and immediately became interested. After some simple conversations, the Pilaf trio completely abandoned the fight for Dragon Ball, and chatted with Boma about academic-related issues. After nearly a month's journey, Sun Tian and his party finally collected the Dragon Balls. The next step is to summon the dragon and verify the legend. By the way, Boma, do you have any wishes that need to be fulfilled? Sun Tian asked suddenly. As for Chi-Chi and Oolong directly bypass, is there no human rights? Ah, wish, what wish do I want? Countless wealth, as if my family is already rich in the country. Unfinished cakes, no good, too low level. A handsome boyfriend. Like a kid like Sun Tian, not bad, but unfortunately there is already a fiancé. Forget it, what am I thinking? I don't like this cold guy. Boma thought. I don't seem to have any special wishes. Sun Tian should give you the opportunity to make a wish. The search for Dragon Ball is actually to take risks and verify the legend. Toc if it is true. Replied. Well, when I think about what I have special needs, I will call Shenlong later and let me think about it again. Sun Tiandao. Buma handed all the Dragon Balls to Sun Tian, and then went to discuss their academic issues with the three of Pilaf. It seems that there are common topics that are different. If I can really summon the dragon, what hope should I promise? Super techniques. The general techniques seem to be useless for me. Teleportation. I only have the opportunity to go to the sub-Adeltra in the future. Immortal. But what's the use of being sealed for immortality? Cell regeneration. The lack of strength is just a matter of dying sooner or later. Tangled. Sun Tian considered many wishes, but for a while, he really didn't know which one to choose. Hey, by the way, ask Shenlong to see if you can return to the original world. If not, then promise the ability to survive in the universe. In the future, when you encounter powerful enemies, you will inevitably use it. Early get ready. Sun Tian thought. So let Boma and the others come out together, walk to the clearing, and put the 7 dragon **** together. I saw the dragon **** resonate with each other, emitting a charming halo, very beautiful. Come out, Shenlong. Come out and help me realize my wish. Sun Tian said a spell. I saw 7 dragon **** suddenly emitting a dazzling light, circling and interweaving. A mini dragon rose slowly from a young age, and then became bigger and bigger. The original clear sky suddenly dimmed, and after a while, one appeared in the sky. 1,000 meters behemoth, horns like deer, head like ox, eyes like shrimp, mouth like donkey, belly like snake, scales like fish, feet like phoenix, whiskers like humans, ears like elephants. It is exactly the Chinese people in the past. Everyone knows the image, the dragon, the Chinese dragon. Although I have watched summoning dragons more than once on TV in my past life, I can't help but shock if I see it in person. Noble, a kind of coercion came oncoming. I saw that except for Sun Tian, the others opened their mouths wide and their eyes stared like light bulbs. At this time, I saw the dragon in the sky slowly leaning down. An unexplained force pressed several people almost out of breath. The one who called me out as a human, right? Shenlong opened his mouth slightly, and a convincing voice came. Yes, the noble Chinese dragon, the soul from afar asks for your help. Sun Tiandao. It is reasonable to say that Sun Tian would not say things like the soul of China, but when he saw Shenlong, a deep homesickness came into his heart. At the same time, Sun Tian also wanted to see if the Shenlong was related to the previous life. Hearing Sun Tian's response, she saw Shenlong's eyes lit up, and a magical power immediately enveloped Sun Tian, and Sun Tian suddenly felt as if he had been seen through. One person and one dragon looked at each other, and after a few minutes, what magical force had left Sun Tian? So, I can't expect to see the younger generation from my hometown. You don't need to say anything. This Shenlong speaks directly in your mind. If you want to know anything, just mute it in your heart. Sun Tian's mind came directly from Shenlong. Voice, but I don't know when, but the other people have fainted. Are you really here from China, which is the Earth? Can you help me return to the Earth? Sun Tian muttered in excitement, originally without any hope. Yes, it's been almost 6 billion years since I came to this world. I slept for too long. I don't remember very clearly. At that time, this world was still in ancient times. I had to fall asleep because of severe injuries. It's just a ray of divine thought. This wish of yours, now I cannot help you realize it, unless my body wakes up. So far, I can break the barriers of the world and bring you back, but at that time, I am afraid that you are no longer alive. Shenlong said. Which old ancestor knows why I was reborn into this world? Sun Tian thought, as a descendant of the dragon in the previous life, even if he is the Chinese dragon, calling the ancestor, he should not suffer. Haha, your younger generation is also interesting, don't you know what you are thinking, do I know it? Shenlong sensed Sun Tian's thoughts and said with a smile. Heaven is impermanent, has its own cause and effect, even if it exists, it is Tao. Junior, there is something wrong with your current lifestyle. You always look indifferent, looking at the world with a bystander mentality. Well, ancestors, I was an ordinary person in my previous life. To be honest, I still find it absurd. By the way, I always thought that ancestors were created by the gods. Junior, I know what you want to say, although it is a bit troublesome to explain, I will just make a long story short. Long ago, when the dragon was ascending to the immortal realm, but in the process of ascension, he encountered a gap in space. Because of curiosity, he went in and explored, but did not know this. However, the dragon used almost all magic weapons and suffered a lot from himself. The serious injury has only escaped. But came to a different world, this world now. At that time, the world was in ancient times. After the arrival of the dragon, it aroused the hostility of the strong in the local world, and was besieged by the local demand at that time. After thousands of years of battle, although they tried their best to kill many strong people at the time, a few more powerful opponents could only seal their opponents or put them into a deep sleep. But Shenlong itself had to use a deep sleep to recover from his injuries. But before going to sleep, Shenlong also left behind. At that time, the Namek star was one of them. Shenlong left some simple exercises and made dragon ***** that could awaken his spirit. For a long time, although Shenlong has been recuperating from a deep sleep, he has gradually realized the rules of this world. As a Shenlong, it is impossible to let people who gather the dragon ***** serve it for free. Therefore, once someone gathers the dragon balls, the Shenlong will realize a wish of this person within the scope permitted by the rules. Slowly, the dragon ball has become a wishing bead that can realize your wishes. However, the strength of each awakening of the divine mind is directly related to the dragon ball itself. After each arrival, the divine mind will consume the energy gathered by the light dragon ball. If you want to use it again, you need to wait for the dragon ball to regather energy to recover. As for the dragon balls spreading out after using them, naturally they don't want to come frequently, otherwise they will come once every 1 year. You really belong to your family when you call the dragon ball. Okay, Junior, I am happy to come out this time, but the energy of this set of dragon ***** can't support my spiritual thoughts for long. Have any other wishes, hurry up and say them. I'm very happy to see the ancestor, how can I trouble the ancestor? Pretentious, forget it, this body of your kid should be from the ancient Saiyan lineage, even if you don't want to say it, let me choose for you. You can't let your younger generation call so many ancestors for nothing. Well, the rules of this world are a bit weird. It seems that the cultivation methods of the previous world are not suitable for him. That is to say, he has been successful in his cultivation, even if the rules of this world cannot be affected, he can still use it. Oh, by the way, if it is that exercise, it should be possible. By the way, kid, if you want to go back to the original world, just accept the gift I gave you. Immediately, Sun Tian felt an exercise in his mind. Okay, Junior, practice hard, there are still many powerful existences in this world. Only when you are strong can you fulfill your wish. Don't always imagine that Dragon Ball can help you complete those incredible ideas. Then, goodbye. Quote. After that, I saw lightning and thunder in the sky, and 7 dragon shining brightly, spreading out in a short while. The sky has returned to light. It seems that the ancestor has already left. Hey, forgot to ask where the ancestor slept. Sun Tian saw the white clouds in the sky. Somewhere in the distant unknowing space, with the return of a ray of divine thought, I saw a behemoth that did not know to tens of trillions of kilometers slowly opened its eyes. If you look at it from a long distance, you will find that, this is a creature with, horns like deer, head like ox, eyes like shrimp, mouth like donkey, belly like snake, scales like fish, feet like phoenix, whiskers like humans, ears like creatures, but it's too big. The taste of nostalgia, the soul of my hometown. I hope you can grow up soon. Then he closed his eyes again and fell asleep. After a while, Boma and several people woke up one after another. Sun Tian, Shenlong, did your wish come true? And what happened to us just now? Boma asked a few people what they thought. They fell asleep shortly after Shenlong was called out and waited to wake up. When he came, Shenlong was gone. No, it can be considered as achieved. You should have been frightened by the aura of the dragon just now, and now you are all right. Time flies so fast. It has been nearly a month since Sun Tian came out of the mountain. Thinking of this month's experience, Sun Tian also felt that he was living too unrealistically. The way of heaven is natural, and the way of existence is. I am always struggling with the memory of my previous life and cannot forget it, so that I have never been out of the mountain in more than 10 years. A few people returned to the fortress, ate something, and chatted about their plans at random. By the way, Sun Tian, my holiday is coming to an end. I plan to go back to Exedu early tomorrow morning. Pilaf and the 3 will go back with me when they arrive. What are you going to do next, or go to Exedu with me? Boma asked. As for Pilaf, I am naturally very happy to be able to join the Universal Capsule Group. At the same time, I admire the genius of Boma. There are many common topics among several people. Well me, I am going to continue my practice. I don't plan to go to Exedu for the time being. When I have time, I will go to Exedu to find you. Sun Tiandao. Chi-Chi, is it with Sun Tian or with us to go to Exedu to play? Boma turned and asked. I also want to go back to practice. Sun Tian is so strong, I can't fall too much. Chi-Chi replied. Well, you must remember to come to me when you come to the west, you will know where my home is when you inquire. There was no word for a night. The next day, Buma and his party bid farewell to Sun Tianchichi and embarked on their way back to Exedu. And Oolong will naturally not go with Sun Tian and Boma. Pilaf's castle quieted down. I don't know what's here. When Pilaf and the others will move out, they will come back when they want to settle down. By the way, Kiki, I will take you back first, and then I will practice alone, it is not convenient to bring you. Sun Tian said after bidding farewell to Boma and others. Well, there can be no transportation, how do we go back, it will be a long way. Chi-Chi said. It turned out that Boma knew that Sun Tian had somersaults, so she didn't leave them a vehicle. Besides, Sun Tian didn't seem to be able to use it either. And many more. After talking about Sun Tianian, I saw a golden cloud in the sky flying over and stopped in front of Ting Tian. Wow, is this teacher Wu Tian's somersault cloud? Unexpectedly, brother Sun Tian actually brought teacher Wu Tian's somersault cloud. Chi-Chi saw this golden cloud. As the daughter of Nian Devil, she certainly knows the legendary cloud of teacher Wu Tian. Yes, the last time I sent Mr. Wu Tian's turtle back, Mr. Wu Tian gave it to you. If you like it, you can give it to you. Sun Tiandao. In fact, he rarely uses this cloud. If you give it to this little girl, she should like it. After Shenlong wakes up, Sun Tian is no longer what he used to be. He doesn't care about everything, and has a little more human touch. Let's go, I'll take you back first. After that, the two jumped onto the clouds and flew at extreme speed in the direction of Flame Mountain. It took several days when I came, and it was only a few hours back. After sending Chi-Chi home, Sun Tian told Chi-Chi about the control of Somersault Cloud's mouth, and then left. He just didn't find Chi-Chi's eyes looking at him. Maybe he didn't care much when he discovered it. After all, this body is only 13 years old. Farewell to Chi-Chi. Sun Tian walked alone in the mountains and forests, slowly recalling the various possibilities since rebirth and the various future possibilities. Judging from the current situation, it seems that the plot of the previous life cannot be changed because of his own appearance, but the general direction should not have changed greatly. Without Pilaf, I don't know if Piccolo can escape the seal, and from in Sun Wufan's words, Sun Tian also discovered that the tortoise crane immortal was not a deadly enemy like in the plot. I don't know if there is a Red Ribbon Legion in this world. Let it go. First practice your kung fu well, no matter what enemies he is, if you provoke yourself, you will hit everything. Before you know it, Sun Tian's mentality is also undergoing a certain change, I am afraid that he has not even noticed it. By the way, Shenlong gave me the exercises, find a place to calm down and comprehend it. Sun Tian thought that he hadn't had time to watch after he was separated from everyone. Looking around, Sun Tian chose a giant tree a few meters in diameter, and with a light jump, it landed on the branch. Then used Qi to dig a big hole in the tree, Yu reading www. Yuakanshu. Then Sun Tian went in and sat cross-legged. Consciousness entered his mind, and the exercises taught by Shenlong automatically appeared in Sun Tian's heart. Prince Ancient Demon Ape Ju, a physical training exercise of the Demon Ape clan in ancient times, a physical body self-cultivation exercise that enlightened Tao, has a high demand for blood, you must have ape blood to practice, some talents are different Rin humans can also practice, but they are relatively slow. Sun Tian's body is of pure Saiyan descent, and the ancestors of Saiyans evolved from golden great apes in ancient times. The natural fighting race was only a battle in ancient times. Saiyans were too guarded by the sky, and being jealous of the gods joined forces to eliminate most of the elite of the Saiyans, leaving only some weak Saiyans alive. Of course, the ancient battle also caused heavy losses to the gods. You must know in ancient times, the Saiyans were far from the weak and small groups they are now. It was the most glorious time for the Saiyans. The super race was not as good as the dog, and the super 3 walked everywhere. Moreover, the existence of not exceeding 4 and super 5 is precisely because of this, it was met with the jealousy of the gods, and jointly destroyed the high-level combat power of the Saiyans. The gods lost more than 90% in the first battle, and most of them are left now. Fell asleep. Otherwise, how could the universe now have a small fish like Felisa with hundreds of millions of combat power to dominate? After the ancient war, the Saiyans have since been devastated and lost their heritage. Only the legend of the Super Saiyan and Mo Ming claimed to be a fighting race, he angered Felisa and was almost wiped out. Of course, these things are probably only known to races with ancient heritage, but Sun Tian doesn't know it. But now that Sun Tian has this, Prime Demon Ape decision, he has the opportunity to reproduce the glory of the ancient times. Otherwise, according to the Dragon Ball plot, even if he grows to the Super 3 super gods, I am afraid that he will be reduced to the hands of the gods for pleasure. Sun Tian enters concentration, his mind sinks into his mind, watching the great ancient ape demon Ju, earnestly. The more time I study, the more time I feel the horror of this exercise. Compared with Gui Shanliu's practice, I don't know how advanced it is. The great ancient ape demon Ju is divided into a body refining chapter and a fighting chapter. The body training chapter talks about how to better develop physical power, while the fighting chapter talks about how to better use power to fight. 9 levels of body refining, 9 fighting styles, practice to the extreme, invincible flesh, destroying the world, not to mention. The two complement each other. Refining to strengthen the body, fighting to enlighten the way, is simply tailored for the Saiyan blood. It's no wonder that the ancestors of Shenlong imparted this exercise to himself. With this exercise, it will be possible to break the barriers of the universe in the future. Returning to the original world will no longer be a wish. Thank you, ancestor. Sun Tian said silently in his heart. 9 levels of body refining, 1 level of 1 layer of heaven, each increase of 1 level, the strength will increase exponentially. The first stage, body tempering, uses the essence of blood to temper the skin, muscles, bones, and internal organs. Finally, the blood is refined, and the blood is like mercury, making it extremely powerful and unbreakable. It requires a powerful bloodline to complete it. Ordinary bloodline can hardly provide sufficient bloodline essence, and refining will only cause blood to wither and die. Second level. After practicing qi and tempering your body, you will become 8 demon Gen Qi, and carry the Zhou Tian. Gen Qi will continue to grow, and then further feed back the flesh, muscles, bones, internal organs, blood. The third level, Tongqiao Junqi Dacheng constantly explores the body's body acupoints, and gets through the acupuncture points to help the spirit. Fourth level, the magical powers and the acupoints to the gods and evolve the martial arts magical powers, move mountains and fill the sea, reverse the universe, and yin and yang against chaos. Level 5. Combining the body and acupuncture points to energize the gods, the supernatural powers manifest themselves, the soul and the body are united, and the yin and yang are condensed. Every bit of blood remembers an experience. The sixth level, Fa Shang, soul and body are one. The Fa Shang is self-contained, with its own strong true qi endowing the cultivation of heaven and earth, taking the universe, shrinking the sun and the moon, picking the stars. Seventh level, break the void with one move, one by one to smash the void and tear the dimension. The eighth level, the fragmented world breaks the barriers of the universe, soars in the cosmic lake with the flesh, and explores the endless universe. Ninth level, the law of enlightenment of the great way to shuttle through the universe at will. Fighting and fighting 9 styles are the attacking moves that cooperate with it. The great ape demon Ju uses war to understand the Tao. It is necessary to keep moving forward in non-stop battles to understand the ultimate secret of physical enlightenment. The 9 fighting styles respectively correspond to the body tempering, training, qi, venting, and supernatural powers. The method is like breaking the avenue of the virtual world. It teaches the methods of using the magical powers of Junqi acupoints. At the end of the training, the universe is destroyed with one thought. As you can imagine. Awesome. At the end of the practice, I can travel through thousands of universes at will. It took Sun Tian 15 days before he could barely finish watching the great ancient ape demon Ju. I don't know how much time it would take to practice it. Slowly opened his eyes that had been closed for half a month, and a bright light flashed. Although he did not eat or drink for 15 days, Sun Tian was like yesterday. Walked out of the tree hole, and Sun Tian gave a long roar to relax the mood of 15 days. Ho 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 ho, groups of unknown animals were frightened and fled. Sun Tian moved his body, and with a light jump, he moved towards a prey, knocking it to the ground with a punch. Needless to say, Sun Tian must be eating again. So full, without eating or drinking for 10 days in a row, I finally ate back at once. Sun Tian looked at the piles of bones left aside. With reference to the great ancient ape demon Ju, Sun Tian compared his current strength and found tragically that he was still in the first stage of body tempering. Although Sun Tian's body was already strong enough, the intensity of light theory was at least in the later period of body tempering. It looks like, but after all, there is no systematic tempering. Next, I have to use this technique again to temper an invincible body. Sun Tianxin said. This time I have gained a good experience, it's time to go back to Baozishan to practice again. 7 or 8 days later, Sun Tian finally returned to Baozi Mountain again, and after a simple clean-up of the house, he went into practice again. Body tempering is divided into skin training, meat training, membrane training, bone training, internal organs training, and blood training. Sun Tian mobilized his energy and blood according to the records in the exercises, and started practicing again. First practice skin. Sun Tian mobilizes the essence of his own Saiyan great ape bloodline, is gradually tempering step by step. Day by day, Sun Tian obviously felt that because of the mobilization of a large amount of essence, his blood essence was gradually thinning down. Even so, the effect was very obvious. However, in order to replenish the blood and energy, the animals around Baozi Mountain are miserable, and they were also unpalatable in the past practice, but since the beginning of the practice of the great ancient ape demon Ju, the food intake has obviously increased several times. I really don't know if the animals around Baozi Mountain will be eaten as rare and protected animals after practicing the first heavy exercise. That's it. Sun Tian practiced continuously every day and his body was very strong. After 2 months, he finally completed the first layer of body tempering and skin training. I saw that Sun Tian was a little bit lucky, and a dark glow appeared on the surface of his skin. Hey, I don't know if I can become a super game in the future, How does this black light feel? A bit like a bad guy. Sun Tian thought evilly, and he wanted to be a bad guy in the future. The leather training is completed, and the next step is to temper the leather to make the body's toughness even more terrifying. However, it is difficult to maintain the replenishment of blood and essence by relying on meat alone, so you have to find some geniuses. So Sun Tian is not only cultivating every day, but also hunting for food and looking for treasures, so as to better replenish his blood and essence. There are no years of practice, and before you know it, more than half a year has passed. Sun Tian's skin has been completely tempered, and he has begun to temper his bones. Counting the time, it should be a few months before the 21st World Martial Arts Conference. This martial arts conference seems to be held on Papaya Island. Let's join in the fun. Next, step up to practice, and strive to complete the tempering of bones before the world's #1 martial arts conference. Sun Tian secretly made up his mind. Then he went into practice again. Thanks for watching.